I made over $1 million in commissions as a sales rep, and I took over 7,000 sales calls, meaning I sat in my chair for 7,000 hours and talked to rich people, poor people, old people, young people, white people, black people, like overseas, here in America, like everywhere. And I started to notice the patterns of human psychology that were true for everyone, whether they were scarce-minded or abundant, had invested, hadn't invested, rich or poor, it didn't matter. I started to notice these overlapping patterns of human psychology, of just how humans operate and make buying decisions. And then that's what I based all of my methodology and training on, was like real human psychology, not some script I found on the internet that worked one time on a Wednesday. And I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, no, it's not.
So what are the principles that apply to any industry to increase their closing percentage and get better at sales?
Confidence. Confidence is going to outsell any script any day of the week, every single time, which tells me that scripts are important, but less important than how you're presenting the script.
Medlin, welcome on, man.
Thank you. Appreciate
How
you
you
having
feeling?
me. Amazing. This is actually my second time in this room. First time with you, second podcast though.
Yes, and luckily you didn't get locked in the first time.
I couldn't have. I propped the door open just like I did this time too.
Yeah, so the audience can't see, but Austin refused to record this podcast with the door closed.
Yeah, but dude, this is like a bank vault. Okay, this isn't just like a normal door.
So we got the door propped open right now.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, dude, it's like a bank vault, and it's soundproof. And like, how am I gonna get out? You can't even hear me in here. No cell signal. Come on.
I record basically every day, and I still have yet to get locked in here.
You know, I love that for you,
dude. If we did get locked in, you'd be locked in with your buddy Jonah.
We'd have a 19-hour podcast.
Yeah, great. It'd be great. Oh, dude, let's get into it. For those that don't know you, talk about your journey in entrepreneurship and where you started.
Man, I started my journey in entrepreneurship when I was like, I don't know, it was like 3, 4, 5 years old, something like that. I was literally going into the pantry at home and taking the little boxes of raisins and then going door to door. Like my mom couldn't find me. And
she's like, selling raisins door to door?
She's like, where's my son? And I was probably like 5 years old. She's like, where's my son? And she looks out the front door.
All the wild things to sell. He's like, were you selling one raisin or
no, it was the little
raisins?
So she bought this big bag that had individual little boxes that she'd like pack in a lunch. And I just went door to door with like a box of raisins. And I was like, will you buy this? I was like 5 years old.
How much were you charging per raisin?
I was 5. Like, you know, I have no idea. I don't, but like, so some people say like entrepreneurs are born, some are bred.
Yeah.
I was born an entrepreneur. Like what 5-year-old has that wherewithal to be like, I'm going to try and sell this to the neighbor, you know? And then when I was like 12 or 13, I started a weed business. So I would go to all my neighbors, knock on the door, ask if I pull the weeds out of their garden. And
I thought you meant like a weed business.
Yeah. I say that from stage and people really seem to like it because I like let it marinate. I'm like, I was 12, I started a weed business. And then I just like shut up for a second. People are like, what? But yeah, I would go to their house and be like, hey, your garden looks like shit. Can I pull the weeds? And they're like, yeah, sure. And that was like $50. And they're great. And they would like just pay me. And then I like hand squeezed orange juice. There's like dirt and shit in it, but I would like sell it for like $12 a gallon because it was like hand squeezed kind of thing. So dude, I've been doing stuff all the time. I was a kid in high school who sold candy. Some people were like, oh, like I don't have any money. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll put it on credit. And I had like a book of like, this guy owes me $2. This guy owes me 50 cents, like whatever. And like literally like racking up credit with people. And like, I was always just doing
as collateral.
No, I was in high school as my buddies. I trusted them, but dude, I was always just doing something to make $1. Not because I really needed to spend the money on anything, but like I just enjoyed like building a business. I enjoyed doing stuff.
Yeah.
So, forever, to answer your question.
So we're going back to day one. That's so funny because when I was 5, 6 years old, I started my own weed business as well. I was younger than you, but it was called Commander of the Lawn.
Commander of the Lawn.
It was lawn care, you know, cleaning up your landscaping, mowing your grass, raking, you know, cleaning up the leaves, whatever. And I was so young. Obviously, I didn't have a cell phone. So I had to put my parents' home phone on there. And the kicker was I made flyers. And my parents, they were so cheap, they wouldn't let me use the scanner in our printer to make copies. And because they're like, ink is expensive. So like I had to manually make every single flyer. So I'm like, I'm up till I don't even know how late, coloring all these flyers in, and I had like crayons and like the colored pencils and like making it sick. And I was a little bit of an artist back then, so I made them dope. And I went up there and smacked those on every single one of my neighbors' houses, and they loved it, dude. I made a kid. And
well, they want to support the neighborhood kid. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even care about the quality of work. They're like, I'll support the kid. Why not?
Exactly. And here's the kicker. So I don't even know how I thought of this, but I was smart because I intentionally didn't put the price on there. And so then they called, and I wouldn't even tell them. I would never tell anybody the price, because I'd get done, I'd go knock on their door, and they'd be like, I'm all done. They'd be like, oh, they look so good, even though it probably looked like shit. Like, well, how much do I owe you? And I just look up and I'm like, I don't know. Well, what do you think is fair?
Kick it back to them.
I would have been fine with $5. They're giving me 20s and 50s. Like, one guy gave me $100 bill.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, I'm rich. I'm raking it in.
I mean, dude, I'll pull up to the lemonade stand nowadays. So like now I got a little bit of fuck around money, and like I'll pull up to the lemonade stand. I'm like, I don't want your shitty lemonade because I was you and I know there's dirt and shit in it. But here's 20, here's 50, here's 100. Like I'll give them whatever I got just to like be like, yo, like don't ever stop being an entrepreneur.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I love that. Pulling up in the McLaren.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, I was on the golf course a couple months ago, and they had it like set up on the golf course because their house was on the golf course. So I was like, what a genius model.
Yo.
Like all the golfers are like 8, 9, 10 holes in. They're like hot and tired. And then it's like, boom, here's a lemonade stand. I didn't drink any of their lemonade, but I gave them a good bit of money and said like, yo, never stop being an entrepreneur.
That's fire.
I don't even think they knew what entrepreneur meant. Like, they're like, yeah, like, sure, just give us more money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels good to get back. Cause that was me.
Dude, the last lemonade stand we pulled up to, it was me and Claudia, and Claudia's like, hey, can we stop? So we're like, sure. So we go up to the lemonade stand, and there's these kids, they got the lemonade, and I like, I don't know, it was either me or Claudia, one of us said like, you guys got any other flavors, kind of jokingly, and then the kid's like, you could tell he was the mischief one. He's like, yeah, I got you, bro. Pulls out his backpack, and he has a whole backpack full of beers. And he's like, opens it up. He's like, you mean this? And I was like, yo.
Oh my God, dude.
So funny. They're like dealing beers under the table too.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And these kids were like, dude, I don't even know.
Dude, we used to steal beers in high school because none of us were 21, obviously, like not even close. And we used to go, if people would leave, like our neighbors would leave their garage open, they had an outdoor fridge. We would go in there and like steal the beers out of their fridge.
You just run up in there?
Yeah, well, I mean, you just walk right in. It's open, and then we just open it up, see if there's any beer. Like, we took a bottle of wine one time, and then we didn't have a cork opener, so we're like using sticks, like trying to open this bottle of wine. Like, dude, I was a real troublemaker growing up. Like, real troublemaker. I was always doing some shit. I was always up to something, for sure.
Let's go. When did you really start cranking in business?
I would say when I was 18, I joined a network marketing company. And that was really like a real business, like from like selling candy at school and stuff like that. It was like a real business where I built a team of 1,500 people in 10 different countries. And I was making at one point like $1,000 a week when I was 18 in college. My mom was paying all my bills, and I was making $1,000 a week just basically in profit to go spend at the bars. And that's where I got into public speaking. That's where I really learned like personal development. Because I was doing so well, this guy, Bryce Madick, flew me out to Texas, and I went to a Tony Robbins seminar. I went to Unleash the Power Within, UPW, VIP, Tony Robbins. The day before, we got coached by 2 of his top coaches for like a 12-hour intensive, and got to go to Tony Robbins, walk on fire, like the whole thing. And then in that moment is when I became mentally unemployable. And I was like, this life is pretty sick. Like, I never want to go get a job. Like, I'd rather be homeless than work for somebody else. And we used to have this thing, like, don't be average. We'd always say it. And we were just like brainwashing ourselves. So like, don't be average. We're mentally unemployable. Like,
I like
literally,
that, mentally
like, I
unemployable.
will be homeless before I work a job.
Dude, we should put that on a t-shirt.
Don't be average.
No, mentally unemployable.
Oh, mentally unemployable is a good one. Yeah.
Dude, what if you had mentally retarded, but then you had the retarded crossed out
And put unemployable.
and then beside it you had unemployable?
I love it.
That would if we put those on hats, those would sell out.
Yeah, well, do a little collaboration. I like it. But yeah, that was like the real kicker, because that's where I started speaking on stages. So like, I remember we did a little home event with 2 people, and I told the dude, I was like, yo, I want to speak. And he's like, okay, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, I can just talk about like the credibility of the company or something for like 5 minutes. And I'm nervous, I'm sweating. It's like 2 people sitting on a couch, like in a dorm room. And I'm like going to stand in front of them and like speak. And then I did 3 people, and then 5 people, and then 10, and then 50, and then 100, then 300, then 500. And I just got like better and better and better at public speaking. So now when I speak on stage, people are like, wow, like really good. That I'm like, I've been doing it for 12, 14 years now, just because like that was really the start to the journey of self-development, speaking on stages, building teams, understanding people, understanding sales, was when I was 18.
What's the most amount of people you spoke in front of?
Probably 500.
500 people.
Yeah, maybe more actually. I didn't count, but my girlfriend in college passed away, and I spoke at her funeral, and there was a fuck ton of people there. Like, it wasn't at like the church ceremony thing. We did like a reception at the college with like all my fraternity brothers and her sorority sisters and like family and like a bunch of people. Dude, that room was absolutely like packed to the gills. Like, there was a lot of people there. So probably then there's probably more than 500. It might have been like 1,000 people there. It was a lot. So probably then, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, actually, the first time I ever spoke on stage was I spoke in front of, it was almost 4,000 people.
It's a lot.
In the Marlin Stadium in Miami.
That's sick though.
I was shitting bricks. I was so nervous. It was at our last insurance company convention.
Yeah.
I only had 15 minutes, but like I was so nervous to go on stage, and that was my first like real like experience public speaking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I did terrible. Everybody tells me I did good, but that was an event. And then since then, after that, anytime I got on stage is like just after you speak in front of that many people, any smaller crowd is you should probably.
But it's people don't realize speaking in front of 50 people or 50,000 people, it's the exact same thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's literally the exact same thing. And I think speaking in front of people, especially like larger audiences, is fun because you can command the room. Like, you can make them laugh, you can make them cry, you can teach them something intentional. Like, you can talk whatever you want to talk about and like really dictate how the room feels when you step off stage. And so I just spoke at an event. It's probably like 75 or 100 people. This is like the big Airbnb in Miami, and I went up there and I started the talk, and I was like, all right, let's whiplash the audience just a little bit. Like, I don't want to just be some boring ass presenter. It gets up, I was like, here's my PowerPoint. Like, I'm good on that. Like, no thanks. And so I started, and I was having some like medical issues at the time. And I was like, yeah, I just got my diagnosis back from the doctor. So before I get into the sales training, I really want to like share it with you guys if you're open to it. And everyone's like just dead silent. Like, you could hear a pin drop. And I was like, yeah, the doctor diagnosed me with, it was EHFCR. Like, had my phone out. I was like, EHFCR. And I was like, I've never heard of that. Has anyone heard of it? And everyone's like, no. And I was like, extremely high fucking close rate. And I was like, and then everyone just dies. Everyone just dies laughing. And I was like, yeah, so the goal of this presentation is to diagnose you guys with extremely high fucking close rate, as well as you can close more sales, scale your business, and live the life of your dreams. And then I like got into the talk.
That's
so
great.
It's like, that's fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's you can have some fun if you're into it.
What a great way to open it up. I read a statistic. You've probably heard this one. People are more afraid of public speaking than they are of dying.
Yeah, I've heard that before too.
Yeah. What have you learned through all the speaking engagements you've been a part of?
I mean, dude, it's not as hard as you make it out to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's the same thing. I think it was Will Smith was talking about when you go skydiving. Like, you have more anxiety leading up to it than you do actually jumping, because they've like put monitors on people and studied like their heart rate and their anxiety. You have more leading up to the actual thing than you do doing the thing. And so I think people just get in their head and they're like, oh my gosh, what if I stutter? What if my mouth goes dry? Whatever. It's like, dude, my mouth goes dry on stage all the time. I'm like, yo, give me a fucking water, and I drink it, and then I go back to presenting. Like, it is what it is. And I think that's most things in life. Like, if you just own it and just like do your thing with confidence, then like nobody really cares that much. You know, like I did an event in Tampa. It was probably like, I don't know, 150 people or so a couple months ago. And I was like, I was the first one to speak, and I got up and I was like, guys, I'm like really nervous to be standing on stage in front of you. And then you could just see the audience, like their heart was like, yeah, I'd be nervous too, you know? And they're like, you could feel their emotion of like, damn, I feel bad for this guy. He's like opening this event. He's really nervous. And I was like, and I'm nervous that when I'm done speaking, we might not have a stage to fucking stand on, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker to the ground. And then everyone's like, yeah, like kicked off the event. And I was like, I want to give you guys, I want to 10x your investment that you paid to be here in the first hour of the event. Everybody cool with that? And they're like, yeah. And then I like got into the sales training, and I was like, it was pretty cool. So it's
you got some good hooks.
Yeah, you got it, dude. You have to, right? Like, you have to have some, like, no one gives a fuck about you. And I think people in life assume that everyone cares about them. And the reason I'm so good at sales, I would say the best in the world at selling high ticket info, is because I'm smart enough to know that the prospects that I'm talking to don't give a fuck about me. They only care about themselves. All they care about is, what can this guy do for me?
Yes.
So if I stand up on stage, I know they don't care about me. So how do I capture their attention and get them hooked so they actually pay attention and learn something? Because then after they learn something and apply it and they get the result, then they will care about me. Then they will send me Christmas cards. Then they will give me hugs. Then they will give me flowers and say thank you. But until then, nobody really actually fucking cares. They just care, what can you do for me? So on a sales conversation or in a presentation on stage, the faster you can get into showing them what you can do for them, the better.
And that's the real secret right there, where public speaking and sales are very similar in that aspect, where anytime somebody goes on stage, and I can put myself in this category, where you're thinking about yourself, you're going to deliver horribly.
Yep.
If you're thinking about serving people and providing value to the audience, that's where you do really well.
Yep.
And then also what I've learned too was a mistake I've made in the past, or a mistake I made for my first speech, was that I was over prepared. And so I had my speech completely memorized, which is a big mistake, which I learned the hard way.
Because you never actually say everything you memorize, because it just goes out the fucking window as soon as like a mic cuts out or a slide doesn't work or something happens. Like you just, and then you're not prepared to go off script.
Well, no, here's the thing. I had it so memorized that I did, but I'm always thinking about, all right, say this and then saying this next, and then I'm just thinking about how I'm coming across. And so I said everything I wanted to say, but again, it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it, it's the delivery of it.
Yep.
And then my second one, I did no preparing. I basically freestyled it. It was a little bit better, so it wasn't the best. So what I've learned is you can find that sweet spot where you have all of your bullet points memorized. You've definitely prepared, but you go up there and you freestyle. You just have fun with it.
Let it roll.
Just have fun, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. And also don't be afraid of silence.
Yep.
Silence is powerful too. The last speech I do sales trainings all the time, but the last big speech I did was at our last insurance company event. We had probably about 2,000 people there, and I walked on stage and I let there be silence for the first 10-15 seconds, and I let the crowd kind of just settle, and then I got into it. And just because you always have to think about how can you come across, and how can you, like you said, how can you hook their attention. So when you come across and you say something crazy in the first minute, that's the best way to do it. But also you also want to think about, how can I be the opposite of the person that went out before me? So the guy went out before me, and like before the music was even done playing, he's like, "What's up, guys? Are we fired up? Let's," everything else. I'm like, all right, so he's going really fired up, so I'm gonna go in just let it sit, and it delivered well.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. And the best part about public speaking, you get cool content. You get cool reels, you get nice photos. Like it's fun. It's a win-win all the way around. So.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. It's fun. What for those that don't know, bro, share about what you do now.
Yeah. So I own a sales consulting company, and meaning I could consult sales in literally any niche, like roofing, windows, insurance, whatever. But where have
you coached insurance guys?
I have, yeah. I took one guy here in Tampa. He was making like $4,000 to $6,000 in commissions, and I worked with him for 30 days, and he made $78,000 the next month.
Do I know?
Yeah. I don't know. We can talk about it off camera, see if you do.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny because he, as he rose in the ranks, he started to find a bunch of sketchy shit happening in his team or company, whatever the fuck it's called, not yours. And then he brought it to management. I was like, yo, this is sketchy. And they're like, it's not your fucking job to be concerned with that. So they obviously knew about it. And then he got fired for finding out about it. So it's kind of funny. Anyway, not funny, actually. It's terrible, but that's, it is what it is. So where I would say I'm the best in the world at, you would run laps around me in insurance because I don't do insurance all day, right? But where I'm the best in the world at is selling high ticket info. So any online coach, career coach, life coach, health coach, fitness coach, marriage, stocks, real estate. I've done literally everything. If you name it, I've done it. Teaching those online coaches that have 2K, 5K, 10K, 30K programs, how to become more effective at selling over 1 hour Zoom calls. I'm the best in the world at that. I run laps around every big name in this space, tenfold. I've made more in commissions as a sales rep. I've just helped my clients have bigger wins. It's just, I'm really fucking good at that specifically.
The difference between you and most people is you've actually sold the products.
4 years I sold the products.
And you've been in the trenches.
Yeah, I made over $1 million in commissions as a sales rep, and I took over 7,000 sales calls, meaning I sat in my chair for 7,000 hours and talk to rich people, poor people, old people, young people, white people, black people, overseas, here in America, everywhere, right? And I started to notice the patterns of human psychology that were true for everyone, whether they were scarce-minded or abundant, hadn't invested, rich or poor, it didn't matter. I started to notice these overlapping patterns of human psychology, of just how humans operate and make buying decisions. And then that's what I based all of my methodology and training on, was real human psychology, not some script I found on the internet that worked one time on a Wednesday. And I'm like, oh, this is it. No, it's not. A lot of what I do is based on intuition, pre-handling objections, and then being dynamic and able to flow in a conversation to meet the prospect where they're at and get this individual to buy. And most people who come to me, they're at if they're lucky, a 20 to 30% close rate, which they think is pretty good. To me is dog shit. Like if you're on my team and you close at 30%, like I will fire you after 1 month if you don't get better, because it's just not good.
Correct.
If you go to the gym 10 days in a row and only 3 of those days count for anything, you're wasting 7 days. Like I'm not going to the gym if only 30% of what I do counts.
Correct.
And that's what people do in sales. And then they have the tendency, they blame the prospects. And then what I ask my clients is like, let me just ask you a genuine question. Would I have closed this person? Most of the time the answer is yes. Sometimes it's no. If they're just got out of prison, homeless and on food stamps, like there's not that much I can do, right? But 99% of prospects are closable. And most of the time my client looks at me and they're like, yeah, you would have closed them. I'm like, great. So it's not a marketing problem. It's not a lead flow problem. It's a sales problem. You need to get better at sales.
Speaking of sales trainers, actually, I ran into Jeremy Miner the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ran into him at the gym in Hive.
Nice.
Yeah. But.
And Jeremy's good, right? But I would consider Jeremy Miner a generalist in sales.
Yeah.
He'll do insurance, he'll do coaching, he'll do real estate. Like he'll just do sales in general. Very similar to like Andy Elliott, right? Like great at sales. Like you can't say those guys aren't good at sales. I've just niched down to high ticket info specifically.
I would say Jeremy's better than Andy for sure.
I'll run laps around all of them combined with high ticket info.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you get more niche. The same principles apply though. Because the majority of people watching this podcast are gonna be sales guys.
Sure.
So what are the principles that apply to any industry to increase their closing percentage and get better at sales?
Confidence.
Yeah.
100%.
Everything.
So I was down in Miami for my birthday a couple weeks ago, and Damon from your office was down there with me, right?
Yeah.
And dude, we wake up like hungover as fuck, and I'm floating around the lazy river just like paying for my sins for the night before, being up till 5 o'clock in the morning. And bro, he's on a sales call.
Yeah.
Like he was, and I'm just listening to him as I float around the lazy river. He's sitting up by the pool, like ripping a sales call. And just like, number one, his script is really good. So whether he wrote it or you wrote it or whoever wrote it, it was really, really good. But more importantly, if you give your office 100 guys, however many you have, if you give them all the same script, wouldn't they all have the same close rate? If they're all saying the same thing, you would think. But it comes down to how you say it and your confidence in yourself, in what you're selling and what you're saying. Right. So across the board of any industry is confidence. Like confidence is going to outsell any script any day of the week, every single time, which tells me that scripts are important, but less important than how you're presenting the script and the information and the confidence that you have behind it. Yeah.
Confidence and tonality.
100%.
It's 80% tonality, 20% the script.
Yeah.
Because you're exactly right. All of our guys use the same script. Yep. We've been using it for years and it works like a charm, but it's all in how you're saying it.
Yes.
Your verbal pacing, your pauses, your voice fluctuation, to your point, your confidence level over the phone. How quickly can you rebuttal the client, get back on track? Can you maintain the straight line method, or either the client's closing you or you're closing the client. Somebody's getting closed on that call.
Someone's getting sold something. It's Sell or Be Sold. That was the best book, one of the best books I ever read on sales by Grant Cardone. I can sum it up for you. You sell them or they sell you on bullshit excuses on why they can't do it right now.
Bam.
Like, that's it. That's all it comes down to. And so people would say, okay, well, if we now know that confidence is the most important, how do we raise our confidence, right? That would be the next logical question that anybody listening to this would ask. You have to believe in what you're actually selling.
Yes.
Like my rule of thumb, when I was a sales rep, I will only sell shit that I'm over the moon, absolutely ecstatic and believe in. And if I don't have 1000% conviction in what I'm selling, I just refuse to sell it because I know for a fact my confidence won't be there and people aren't going to buy. And then I'm wasting everybody's fucking time and money. So you have to be confident in what you're selling. And if you're not 100% confident and convicted in what you're selling, then you're selling the wrong shit, or you just don't know enough about what it is you're selling.
Belief in yourself. It starts with belief in yourself, and then secondly, belief in the product.
Sure.
Because you also got to believe you have the ability to help that family or close that client.
But I think belief in what you're selling is more important than belief in yourself. And here's why I say that. In 2019, when I was brand new to this industry, I was $50,000 in debt and I was 35 pounds overweight. Right. So like I didn't have belief in myself. I wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't driving around a fucking McLaren and making millions of dollars. So like I had zero belief in myself. And I was like, okay, I need to believe in myself, but I didn't. It was like this false belief because I wasn't sticking to my commitments. I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't in shape. I wasn't doing any of the things. And so the first month in sales, I got absolutely fucking smoked because I had zero belief in myself. And then I realized, wait a minute, I'm not selling me. I'm selling this company. And at the time we were teaching YouTube ads to business owners, and we were the best in the world, literally, at teaching YouTube ads to entrepreneurs and business owners. And I was like, but I'm not selling me. So I'm irrelevant. I'm not the one doing the coaching. I'm not the one who created the methodology. I'm selling this company. So I almost borrowed belief in the company instead of belief in myself, because that would take time to like go to the gym and lose the weight and like do all the things, which I eventually did. But at the time I was like, let me just borrow the belief of the company. Let me borrow the fact that we've helped 3,000 people. Let me borrow the fact that we have 100 hours of testimonial videos and all these businesses and lives that have been changed through our program and our methodology. Let me just use the belief of the company instead of the belief in myself. And then the next month I had a really good close rate. And then the third month I had the best close rate. And then I led that team for the next 2.5 years and took thousands of calls and closed millions of dollars in sales.
That's so interesting. For me, it was the opposite, because, and I think it's different for most people, because for myself, because I had a similar progression where I was smoking weed, partying, hanging out with the wrong people and doing all the wrong things, and just wasn't disciplined, wasn't doing anything I should have done. And I read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It forever changed my life.
Classic.
19 years old. Like,
yep.
After that, I stopped. I got cut everything out. I'm somebody, like, if I'm gonna do something, I gotta go all. I can't like tiptoe on the line. So got sober, started working out 2 hours a day. Did not work out consistently ever. Before that, did not go to the gym, and I built the base. And when I got into sales, dude, I really struggled my first couple months, and it was a humbling experience. But what got me through it was my habits and my discipline and the personal development aspect. And looking at myself, if I would have gotten into sales a year and a half prior, I probably wouldn't have made it. Just because I didn't have the right foundation, didn't have the right base. And so, to your point, that's like I've never heard that perspective. That's a really interesting perspective, because when you're talking to a client, are you selling yourself or the product? Because the way
depends
I
what
see
you're
it,
selling.
The way
your guys are selling the product. I am now selling myself because I own my own company and do all the one-on-one calls, and like I'm selling myself.
I don't know. I still feel like it doesn't matter what you're selling. I still feel like when you're talking to a client, you're selling yourself more than you're selling the product.
But think
you're
about
selling yourself on, like, for our guys, you're selling yourself on the fact that you can protect their family.
Yep.
And God forbid something happens to them, you're the one that's going to be putting your foot on the insurance company's throats to make sure they're paid out and they're okay. Because the clients are really, because they can get insurance from 100 different people, and they're getting calls from a ton of agents all day long. So it's, if you call them, or Johnny calls them, or Nathaniel calls them, well, why should they buy from Austin?
Sure.
And so the ability, you can go above and beyond and show empathy, have confidence, take control of the sale, like effectively rebuttal them. It's an interesting thought.
Well, I think every industry is different.
More?
I think every industry is different, right? So like when I was new selling the YouTube ads, I didn't have to do any fulfillment.
Yeah.
So I didn't need to be confident myself, because I just had to be confident in our team to do the fulfillment. It sounds like you kind of tote the line in the middle, where you have to be confident in the product to actually protect them. And when they call you with an issue, you're going to go to war for them and put your foot on the throat of the insurance company and like make sure they're taken care of. So it's kind of both. Let's say you're a car salesman. You don't have to be confident in yourself. You're selling the vehicle. You're confident in the vehicle to perform, to protect their family if they get in a car accident, to like be a good vehicle for them. You don't need any confidence in yourself. Now you have to be confident, right? Like confidence is what's going to close the deal. But I think it's easier to make somebody confident in a company or a product or a service. It's going to be faster and easier to do that than it is to take someone who's never had confidence in themselves and teach them self-confidence. Like that is a journey. And I think self-confidence comes from discipline and doing the things that you know you should do. Like when you close your first sale, your confidence goes up a little bit. When you have like a really good month, your confidence goes higher. When you're the best on the team, your confidence goes up, right? So it's like you really get confidence from action. But the only way to actually get the ball rolling is to believe in something. And if it's not going to be yourself, it better be in what you're selling.
I would agree with that. I would say that the faster, easier win is put your confidence in the company and the product. But the long-term play to become great
is yourself.
You have to. Like for Damon,
dude,
I would put, you could give Damon any product and give him a shitty product with a shitty company, and you put in a sales rep that has the best product and the best offer that doesn't have a lot of confidence in himself. I'm going to bet on Damon
every day of the week
to outsell him
100%,
because he's just got so much.
He's
confidence
a fucking
in himself.
dog. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's an interesting dichotomy. What have you learned about yourself through this sales journey you've been on, not only selling yourself but then coaching other people?
I've realized that I'm so good at sales that I can sell myself bullshit that isn't true, which is a real problem.
Yeah.
Like, especially as you get to like more and more and more success, right? You acquire some real estate, you buy your dream car, you buy your dream truck. Like, you have everything you've ever wanted.
The number one person we lie to is ourselves.
Yeah. And it's the better you are at sales, the easier it is to lie to yourself. Because like when normal people lie to themselves, they know they're lying to themselves. They're like, fuck, like I'm just being a pussy, whatever. But for me, I can like really convince myself, like, no, you really do need a rest and a cheat day. But like, then 3 days goes by, I'm like, I really didn't need that, you know, but in the moment, I'm so good at sales that I'm convincing myself that like, I need this right now. And you really didn't. And so I've had to really take time on like decisions, because I have to be like, okay, am I selling myself bullshit that isn't true? Or do I really need this thing that I'm contemplating right now? Right. So the better you are at sales, the better you are at selling yourself on shit that isn't true. And so, and I've done that, right? Like I've done that. And it's caused myself definitely some fucking pain and some hurt along the way. And it's just a realization. It's a part of life and a journey. And I'm like, okay, I need to really sit with these decisions and like make sure they're accurate and true before I actually pull the trigger. Cause I'm already impulsive as it gets.
Yeah.
I went to the mall to buy shoes one day and left with a $22,000 watch, you know? So now I say it's a $22,000 pair of shoes. Like
that'll happen.
I am very impulsive. Like I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to get another jet ski. I sold my old one, got rid of one, and then just went down to the store 2 days later and fucking bought a jet ski. Like I found my truck, bought it the next day.
And went out, ripped your jet ski, and then I bought the same jet ski a week later.
Dude, it's how it goes. It's like, so
but
yeah.
The best salespeople are impulsive.
Yeah, and I mean, because it's a good and a bad thing, right? Like the best salespeople in the world are willing to bet on themselves. And so for me, like, I'll take my real estate, my car, my truck, and my bank accounts, and I'll drain it to zero and like literally have nothing to my name and like wouldn't care, because I know I can just sell my way back to making millions of dollars.
Dude, isn't that a great feeling to have?
It's the highest paid skill set on planet Earth. If you're good at sales, you can quite literally do, have, and be whatever the fuck you want in life. You write your own ticket, you write your own check. Like, if I went unemployed, bankrupt today, I could come work for you, and I guarantee you, give me 30 days, I'd be your best producer you've ever had. Yeah. I will fucking outwork everybody in this office times 10. Like, they'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how is this guy doing this? Because I'm a fucking savage. Like, I will sell my way back to making millions of dollars.
Dude, we should do a day in the life and vlog it of you just... You've never seen the script, never sold life insurance before,
and just like deals all day.
Just get you in the office for a day, give you a stack of leads, and just rev.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, the sad part
Show
is
these
like,
guys what's up.
It would really demoralize a lot of your fucking team, because they would realize like, oh, he's using the same script.
Or piss them off and fire them up.
Yeah, which is going to show you which type of person they are.
Yeah.
If it demoralizes them, they're a pussy and probably never going to make it in sales anyway. And if it fires them up, then that's just them tapping into the highest version of themselves and me showing them that they could be doing more.
Our guys are dogs. We don't hire pussies.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah, 100%. Talk about, and to your point though, where this really ties back into the self-confidence aspect, where the one thing my dad just freaking instilled in me as a kid was to never tell a lie. And that served me, like, if I told a lie as a kid, it was really bad. And it served me so well, because one of my favorite quotes is, conscience congruent living turns confusion into clarity. And the reason that people lack confidence is a lot of times because they're lying to themselves, or they're just not living congruently with the man or woman that God created them to be. They're like, oh, I want this. I want to be making $20,000 a month. I want to be living in this house. I want to be driving this car. These are my goals. This is what I tell people. But subconsciously, and this is where it gets tricky and it gets dangerous, is because 80% is subconscious of your actions and what you do. Subconsciously, you're not living congruently with that. And when there's discord and those are unaligned, that's when you lack confidence. And to your point, talking about earlier, coming in, I think that's really important, where if you don't believe in yourself, well, you need to have something else to believe in. So believe in the product, believe in the company, stack those quick wins and stack those small wins. And bro, dude, like stacking the wins and putting in the work and living consciously and congruently with yourself, dude, that builds confidence like nothing else.
Yep.
And that's how you build unstoppable confidence within yourself.
And then once you get into what I call momentum, right? Because like that confidence breeds momentum. And now it's like easier to go to the gym. It's easier to rip deals. Like it's just easier to do everything. You're in flow state. You're in momentum. Then you have to shift into just protecting that momentum.
Yes.
Right? So if there's one day that you set your alarm and then you snooze it and don't get up, it backtracks your momentum.
Yes.
If there's one day where you had a stack of leads and you got halfway through and like, oh, I'm tired, my stomach hurts, I'll probably just call it a day. I already closed 3 deals today, whatever. And then you just call it, you're backsliding your momentum. And if you do that enough times, little microcosms, you destroy your momentum. And then you're like, oh, wow, I just had a really shitty month. Oh, wow, like I actually gained a little bit of weight. Like you start moving backwards and you don't realize why. It's because you derailed all of your momentum. So getting into momentum is hard enough. Then you got to put it into protection mode of like, I will protect this momentum at all costs because this flow state feels good and things are fun and flowing. You have to protect that.
Dude, momentum is so powerful. It can either be your biggest motivator or your biggest hindrance.
Yeah.
Because when you have momentum, things just get easier and easier and easier and easier. You're like, dude, I just keep winning.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I remember I had to grind so hard to get to this point, but I got this win and then this win and then this thing fell into place and I got connected with this person and then was able to close this deal. But it's also the flip side of that. When you get out of momentum and you're not disciplined and you're not showing up,
It's so
and then it's one of those things where you're like, dude, I can't catch a break. It's like one bad thing after one bad thing after one bad thing just keeps happening to you, and you're like, dude, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this hole.
And how to tell when you're in momentum is when everyone around you is saying that you're lucky.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're just so lucky, man. Like that's how you know you're ripping in momentum, because like you make it look so effortless and so easy. And people are like, you're lucky, but they don't understand that you put in thousands of hours behind the scenes to like build this momentum and to get into it. It's just, that's when life is the most fun. Like when you want to go to the gym and you want to eat healthy and you want to close deals and like invest and like build your mindset and build your relationship with God, like that is when life is the most fun.
Yeah. I love telling myself I'm lucky. I'm the luckiest person alive.
Yeah.
And I don't, if people that are unlucky, I don't even want to hang out with them. Because that's just contagious.
Because they create their own luck. Like
Yeah.
that's the hard pill for people.
I don't
to
want
swallow.
those people around me.
I get comments like that on Instagram all the time. Like, oh, it must be nice having, daddy's money or having this or having that. You're so lucky because you live in America, da da da. And like, my favorite story that I ever heard when I was 18 years old was a true story about two brothers and their dad. And their dad was like a really bad guy, like criminal, life in prison, etc. And then there were two twin brothers, and one of them followed down the path of their dad, and then the other one became a super successful multimillionaire entrepreneur, business owner. And they interviewed the two brothers, and they asked them the same question. They said, "How did you end up here?" And both brothers separately, not knowing what the other one answered the exact same way. And they both said, "Have you seen who my dad is? How could I end up anywhere else?" So one of them looked at the path that their dad was on and then just used that as an excuse to follow suit and do really bad things and end up in prison. And the other one saw that what their dad did and was like, I do not want that for my life. And I'm going to use that as fuel to become the most successful human being on planet Earth. And so they both had the same situation interpreted and analyzed in two different ways and then ended up at two different outcomes. And so people are like, oh, well, you live in America, it must be nice. Okay, well, if you're in Canada, are there zero successful people in Canada? If you're in South Africa, is everyone in South Africa poor? Right? And I'm not saying some people don't have an advantage.
Dude, Elon Musk,
have.
he's from South Africa. He's
Exactly.
the richest man in the world.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, so like you're looking at a country and then just blaming where you were born as like lesser of an opportunity in the age of the internet. Like, come on. It's like you can sell yourself whatever you want, right? And what I tell my clients and people all the time is you get to keep the beliefs that you're willing to fight for. And so if you have the limiting belief that like, well, I'm a fitness coach, I can't charge more money. Oh, well, I'm this or I'm that or I'm short or I'm tall. Like you get to create whatever reality you want and you get to fight for those beliefs. And if you want to fight for bullshit that isn't true, that's on you. Like, I'm not going to force fuck you to like stop fighting for those beliefs. If you want to keep fighting for them and using them as excuses as to why you're lesser than you should be, that's on you. But I think what propels me and I keep at the forefront of my mind, that I think that on the day that you die, maybe you're 18, maybe you're 30, maybe you're 97. Like, I don't know. Nobody knows when they're going to die, right? I think on the day that you die, you will have the opportunity to meet who you could have become.
Yes.
As the highest version of yourself.
Yes.
And my biggest fear is that those people are unrecognizable. That
Yes.
the person I was when I died was overweight or broke or miserable or depressed or whatever. And then the person I could have become was in shape and had a beautiful life and a ton of money and impact and fun and experiences. So it's like, I just have to live every day to the fullest as if it's going to be my last. Because if I die, I want those people to be identical twins.
Yes. And is it interesting how, I don't know about you, but personally, some of the people I know that have had the hardest lives are the happiest.
Yeah.
And the people
always.
I know that are the most blessed or have had a perfect childhood are the most miserable.
Yes. Because
So
adversity
interesting.
creates something inside of you that nothing else can.
Yes.
And that's, people ask me a lot. They're like, well, how are you with mindset and business, whatever? I'm like, because I've had a really hard fucking life.
Yeah.
And I don't use it as a pity party, but it's like,
Yeah.
I've just been through a lot, right? Like, got arrested when I was 16. Parents got divorced when I was young. Like, got arrested again when I was 20. Girlfriend died in college. Brutal divorce. Like, I've just been through it, right?
What's the most adversity you've been through?
Most adversity. I mean, there's been so much, and the problem, but also the solution is like, I don't ever view it as like, oh my gosh, I'm going through adversity. I'm viewing it as like, okay, the universe, life is giving me lessons that I can learn. So how can I grow from this? And I'll never forget, I was in the hospital. My girlfriend at the time had been hit by a car. She was in the ICU for 10 days. And it was just me and her family in the room. And the doctor came in after 10 days and just kind of shook his head and was like, she's not going to make it. And her dad looked at me, and the first words out of his mouth after hearing that his middle child was going to die, he looks at me and says, I'm honored that my daughter was in love with you. And in that moment, I consciously made the decision, and I told myself, and I said, Austin, in this moment, you can choose to go up or you can choose to go down. There is no in between. So going down would be drinking, being angry, turning to drugs, violence, whatever it was, because I was frustrated and pissed off about the situation. And going up would be learning, living life to the fullest, understanding that life is short and living every single day like it's my last. And not only selfishly for me, but selflessly helping as many other people along the way as I humanly possibly could, and teaching them the lessons that I had learned, right? And so I was like, I can go up or go down. There is no in between. And obviously I chose to go up. I chose to tap more into personal development. I started going to the gym twice a day. Like, I just started doing everything in my power that I could to process what had happened, but also to grow through it and not shatter and crumble my life as a result of what had happened.
Yes, that's so powerful. What I've learned is spend no time feeling sorry for yourself.
It's a waste of time.
But instead, put all of your focus, energy, and attention into improving yourself.
Yeah.
Because the moment you feel sorry for yourself, you've already lost.
You're cooked.
You've already lost the battle.
Yeah.
And it's that interesting dichotomy. I was just talking to this earlier, actually in the podcast before this, of the difference between clean fuel and negative fuel. And both are powerful. The person that I like to refer to that is, I'm a big Elon fan, and Elon had a hard childhood. His dad was really hard on him. At one point, he got into a fight, and it wasn't just a street fight. Like, he got beat up really bad, curb stomped by a gang of kids, and he had to spend a month in the hospital. His brother said he was unrecognizable, and his dad sided with the bullies, and he said, "Well, it's your fault for getting in a fight you couldn't win." And so think about what that does to somebody. Like, and you see it. You see it. He's fueled by both sides. Like, he's fueled by a lot. He has a lot of negativity, but he's also fueled by positivity and making impact, and making a change and bringing clean energy and bringing people to Mars and everything else and all the projects he's working on. So
Teslas are still pretty good though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Elon's a great guy, but I'm just not going to drive a Tesla.
I'm just not going to drive an electric car.
Yeah, or truck or electric vehicle.
I will never drive anything. I can't.
I won't.
What I will. Anybody, I was just giving my buddy Carson shit because he drives a Tesla. I make fun of people for driving Teslas, but what I will say is the self-driving mode is pretty sick.
I mean, yeah, but we could put that in any vehicle. Doesn't have to be electric. Doesn't equal self-driving.
But no other vehicle has that right now.
It will.
So if you want to be driven around, you got to buy a Tesla,
or you just get a driver. I have an assistant that'll drive me anywhere. I can call my assistant right now, and he'll be here waiting to pick me up when we get out of this podcast.
Do you have your assistant drive you around?
Sometimes. Depends where I want to go.
What's your assistant's name?
Well, his real name is Clark. He calls himself Alfred.
It's Alfred.
He calls me Batman.
Dude, talk to us about your assistant. This is actually badass.
Dude, my assistant's the best thing that's quite literally ever happened to me. Besides my parents getting divorced and getting arrested twice and the death of my girlfriend in a divorce, those things were better than my assistant because they made me who the fuck I am today. So those things I'm very grateful for.
Amen.
But dude, my assistant's just the best. It just makes my life so fucking easy. Cooks, cleans, laundry, cat litter box, like drops me off, picks me up from the airport. Just if I drive the McLaren somewhere and drink, he'll go pick it up the next day or that night, whatever. Like, he just takes care of everything in my personal life where, like, I don't even check the mail anymore. Like, if I get mail when he's not there, like, I just put it on the counter. I don't even read it or open it. And then, like, if it's gone the next day, I know it wasn't important, right? So he just, like, takes care of. I text him on the way here. I was like, I need dinner reservations Friday this time, this many people, boom, done. And it'll already be booked, So it's like
superpower.
He does everything that I don't want to do, that doesn't make me money, that doesn't make me happy, that isn't fulfilling and isn't fun. He just takes off my plate and does everything for me. And the biggest pro tip that I have is if you're going to hire an assistant, number one, they got to be in person, right? Like, I don't want a fucking VA somewhere.
Yeah.
Number two, they need to be a male. And everyone's like, oh, what's your assistant name? What's her name? And I'm like, no, it's a guy. And they're like, you have a guy assistant? I'm like, yes, for many of reasons. So like, I have an Airbnb property 2 doors down from my actual property. It's like, hey, Clark, I need you to go there, take this light and fan out of the ceiling and put this light in instead, and then install that one on my front porch. No offense to women, but like if I have some 26-year-old chick and I'm like, hey, go do that. She's like, great, I'll find a handyman. Then I got to wait 3 weeks for a handyman. I got to pay him $200. And it's like, it's a whole fucking thing where if Clark is handy and he can just do that, right? Like I trust him to drop the McLaren off at the shop. He knows how to drive it. He knows how to operate it and take care of it. Like he's just extraordinarily handy and trustworthy and good at what he does. And I don't want to have sex with him, which is also a bonus as well of having a male assistant. So this is like a win-win all the way around.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, if we have sex. No, he's married. He has kids. He's the man. Like he's literally the best. Like I take him with me on my client retreats. Right.
That's actually a good point because I have a female assistant now. But now that you're saying that, I'm thinking, yeah, because we did just have to have somebody come out of the house.
Yeah.
And it was about $500.
Yeah. See, you could have saved yourself $500.
I do not let her drive my McLaren either.
See, that's a problem. Like if I'm going to do something, like you said earlier, I want to go all in, right? Like I want to just have it all. I don't want to have bits and pieces. So I don't want an assistant who can like organize the things. I want the assistant to just do the things. Right. And then business grew and we got busy. So then we brought him into the business and now he's full time. So he's like with me 2 days a week, but I could call him any day of the week to come help with shit. But he's at the house Mondays and Thursdays, like meal preps all my food, make sure he calls it show ready. The house is always show ready. When I'm flying home, he'll stop by the house first, like make sure the cat didn't throw up anywhere, which he always does. So he cleans up all the throw up, sets the AC, like make sure everything is like picture perfect so I can come home from a trip and just like get back to normal life. When before I had him, and it's, you know, it's champagne problems, but I would like come home to my house and there's fucking throw up everywhere. And I love my cat, but I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I got to like clean all this throw up just to get the house back in order. You know, I'm like lugging my suitcase upstairs. Like now everything's just taken care of for me. And like, is that a luxury? Yes. But is it a strategic business decision? Absolutely. Because I can focus and do the things that I want to do, which is serving my clients, making money and helping people instead of cleaning up cat throw up and doing dishes.
Which makes you money, which makes you more money.
And helps more people.
So really you're saving money.
Yes.
Yeah. At what point does it make sense for what income level does it make sense for somebody to get an assistant?
I think it depends on your business. And like, if you own your own company, like I encourage my clients to push as far as they can go by themselves before they go hire people. I hired my brother as my assistant in the business at $80,000 a month. So I scaled it by myself to $80,000 a month and then hired him on very part-time. I think I was paying him like $2,000 a month or $2,500 or something like that. And then him and I built it to think like $150 a month. Then I brought him in full time. We got to like $200K per month. And then I brought in Clark to help out on the business side of things.
Nice. I'll tell you this. Yeah, because our assistant, she does a lot of that. And having somebody that like cleans your house, cooks all your food. We just got our whole backyard redone. So she's coordinating with the contract landscapers, everything else, turf people, pavers, everything, getting it all situated. Dude, it is such a blessing. And having somebody like, if not an assistant, you should never cook your meals. Cooking your meals is a complete waste of time. Like I can't remember the last time I cooked dinner. I just don't.
If you want to do like a cute date idea, like a date night or something, and you guys want to like cook, like sure,
yeah,
fine.
We'll do that. But
3 times a day, or you know, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you got to cook and you got to clean. Like, dude, I don't even go to the grocery store anymore.
Dude, poor people. You ever wonder why you only see poor people at the grocery store? Because rich people go, dude. If you go to the grocery store in 20, you are poor.
Yeah, I mean, you can order it. If you don't have an assistant, you can just order it to your doorstep.
Dude, I cannot think of a bigger waste of time. Like, let's say it's a Saturday. Not only waste of time, but just something that is, nobody enjoys going to the grocery store. It's always one of those things, oh, I gotta go to the grocery store. And like, let's say we're gonna go to the grocery store right now. All right, so we grab our keys, we go upstairs, grab our keys, walk out to our car, start our car, drive there. It's rush hour traffic. It's probably gonna take us 15, 20 minutes to get there. You can't find parking, so you gotta drive through the parking lot, finally get a spot. You get out of your car, you get a cart. There's just a ton of people around. There's always a crying baby somewhere, and nobody looks happy. People are upset, and then you're lugging your cart down every single aisle, and you get all your stuff, and then you got to wait in line and then check out, and there's germs everywhere, and it's disgusting. And typically the cashier hates her life because she works at a gosh dang grocery store. And then you check out and you're driving home, and you're like, frick, dude, we forgot the eggs. So then it's like, all right, do we go back you know what, we're too far deep, just keep driving. So then you don't have eggs for the entire week, and then your macros are off, and then you pull up, and you gotta bring all the little baggies in your house, and then you gotta organize everything and unbox everything and put everything away. And it's by the time you're all said and done with it, dude, it's a 2.5, 3 hour long ordeal. You usually did 3 hours every day. Yeah. If you're in sales, you could have spent those 3 hours and you could have made $2,000. So really, it cost you between $1,000 and $2,000 to go to the grocery store. That's an expensive grocery store trip.
This is why I fly private as often as I can.
Yeah. I'm still not there yet.
Dude, I mean, you could be, though. You just choose not to be. And if you start looking at flights, you'll realize they're not as bad as you think.
Dude, you're going to sell me. The thing is, I fly so much, though.
Dude, I did. Yeah, but you don't have to do it every time. Just strategically. Like, I flew round trip to the Bahamas on a G4 for $30,000.
That's a lot.
Not really, because I had 10 clients with me and they paid for it.
Oh. How much when you're flying by yourself?
I did one down to like Fort Lauderdale and back in a day. It was like $7,600. I just did Miami round trip was $20,000. We had 8 of the boys, so we split it. So it's what, $2,500. If you go get a first class Delta flight or American United, like you're gonna spend what, $1,200, $1,300. So it's basically double what you would have spent, but you get a private jet with the boys and you get to literally drive on the tarmac and just get out of your car, or we had a limo pick us up and just like walk on the flight, and then just literally the pilots are like, cool, let's roll. Like there's no safety briefing, there's no babies crying, there's like no security, they don't even ask for your fucking ID. You can bring your gun if you want. Like you literally just get on the flight and just fucking go, and then you land and you're like, peace, have a good day, and then I'll see you in 3 days when you pick me up.
You know what's a good testosterone check of somebody's testosterone levels is when they're around a crying baby. Guys that have really high testosterone, you'll look at them, they'll be uncomfortable when there's crying baby.
Oh, I just thought I was a piece of shit. I just thought I had a problem. Like I thought I was an asshole. I was like, I fucking hate this baby crying.
You look at guys that are beta males, or you look at females, and there's a crying baby, they're completely fine.
I never realized that.
Did you know that? They've actually done studies where if you're around a crying baby, it raises your serotonin levels and it raises your estrogen and it lowers your testosterone.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why a lot of times when guys will have kids, they'll develop man tits is a real thing. Yeah.
That's also why if I fly commercially, I will always fly first class. Less babies in first class. Less green-haired people and less babies in first class.
Yes.
Always. And I always board last and get off first.
Yes.
Like I don't understand why people like they get a ticket and then they are like rushing to wait in line to like get on an airplane that's going to move at the same time it's going to move. Like I literally wait for them to call me on the intercom before I board an airplane.
Yeah.
If they haven't called me on the intercom, I'm not boarding the airplane.
Regardless of where I'm at in the airplane, I'm always the last to board.
Always.
Yeah.
I will be seat 1A 99% of the time I fly commercially, and I will 100% of the time be the last to board. Like, I don't even want to go down the little, whatever it's called, the carousel, tarmac, bullshit, whatever it's called, the fucking little tunnel, and like have to wait in line at the tunnel. Why do I want to do that? I could just be sitting down at the airport hanging out. Like, I could be on my computer. I could be working. I could be doing a million other things. I could be just doing nothing. But I'd rather be doing nothing than standing in line in a little tube waiting to get on another tube to fly where I want to fly. So I just always board last.
Dude, one time I was it was like 3 years ago. One time because I always do that and actually miss my flight doing that. Bro, I was so locked in to what I was doing. Like I was just I'm super ADHD, so like when I get in, like I'm in the zone. I'm locked in. So I had my AirPods in, noise canceling. I had background music playing, and I was just knocking a bunch of shit out, and I didn't even hear him call me. And then I look up, and the gate was closed.
Yeah, you're cooked.
And I go up. I'm like, hey, like, can you let me? She's like, nope, sorry.
Not once that door's closed.
The door's closed.
Yep.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, that happened to me once. But I was sitting at a bar drinking, just like fucking off, being an idiot. And then I didn't hear my name.
Missing your flight is the worst.
Yes.
There's no worse feeling.
No, especially if you're trying to come home. That's bad. And dude, I was sitting, I was doing in-person sales at an event. So we'd like do this event every year for this guy, David Bayer. And me and my buddy were flying home, but he was going somewhere else and I was going here. And so we were at the airport at the same time. And they were calling my name over the intercom, but I was like, wasn't paying attention. I was just like in my own world. And I checked my phone and he texts me and he goes, yo, they're calling your name on the intercom. I was like, oh, fuck. And I literally got up and like ran to the gate as they were about to close the door. I was like, yo, my bad. Because they can see when you check in, like when you get your boarding pass and check in. So they know that you're in the airport. That's why they're calling you. So they know you're here, and they're just like calling me over and over, and I had just so locked in, having a blast, like not
They're
paying
like, oh,
attention.
this idiot.
Yeah, like where the fuck is this guy? He checked in like an hour and a half ago. Like we know he's here somewhere. And then my buddy Jared texted me, and I was like, oh shit! And I got up and literally just threw $100 down for my tab. I was like, I don't have time to close this shit, and just like booked it, and like just made it to my flight to fly home.
Yo, that's funny, dude. You've got a thing where you don't bring girls on dates. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm just I think because I really value my time, put it that way. Like I really, really, really value my time. So like if I'm here doing this podcast, it's because I want to do it, and I'm willing to put my time and effort and energy here on this podcast to spend time with you, right? But I'm very selective with my time. And I don't think a dinner date is a good use of time. A first dinner date is not a good use of time, because if you don't know this person well enough and you're not enjoying the date, 99, maybe 100% of people are just going to sit there and thug it out for 2 hours and just be fucking miserable. And then they're going to pay the tab and leave and be like, that was a complete waste of my fucking time.
The worst.
But they are consciously choosing to waste their time because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So they're pretending to have a good time, and then they're not. So me instead, like if I was on a date and I wasn't enjoying it, I would literally just put $200 on the table to cover the tab and be like, yo, like I don't want to be here anymore. Like I'm going to head out, but like here's for the tab. Like, are you good? And I'm out. Like I'm just going to leave. Like I don't want to be here, so I'm going to leave. Like, dude, I've been out with friends, and there's like certain people there that I just like don't care for and don't want to be around. And I'm like, yo guys, I'm heading out, calling it an early night. And I just like bounce. Like I don't feel obligated to donate my time to people or things that I just don't want to fucking spend my time doing. So like if there's an event, if there's a party, if there's a movie, if there's anything, like, because people are competing for your time all the time, right?
Yeah.
Work competes for your time, relationships, friends, family, like everyone's always trying to compete for your time. And I just have to be strict with my time because it is the most valuable asset that we have on planet Earth. And people just willy-nilly spend their fucking time. And it's one of those things where it's basically an unlimited credit card, but there is a limit, but you don't know where it is. And people are just fucking swiping that card left, right, and center. And then one day they go to swipe and it gets declined. That's the day you die. You might be 19, you might be 30, you might be 100. Like, I don't know how long I'm going to live, but while I'm here, and assuming we only have one life to live, I want to do the shit that I want to do. So selfishly, I'm just not going to go out on dates with random women and like pretend to have a good time.
Oh man, yeah, that's so true. The best gift somebody can give you is the best gift a wealthy person can give you is giving you their time.
Agreed.
Because they've already have everything else.
Yeah.
But we only have a finite, limited amount of time here on this planet. That's one thing me and Claudia have really gotten good at, is just being really good at saying no.
Yeah.
Like if we go out and we're with people, they're people that we genuinely want to go out and be with. Yeah. If not, we just simply won't go out.
I forgot who I was talking to, but it was going into 2026. I'd love to give them credit if I could remember, but I was like, what are your intentions for 2026? And they said, no is a full sentence. No, that's it. Like, no, I don't need to explain it. I don't need to over justify it. I can just say, no. Hey, you want to come do this thing? No. And I think good friends will understand.
Yeah.
But I think so many people are conditioned and afraid to tell people no because they have the fear of letting them down. But if you go do the thing and you're not enjoying it, exactly, and you go do the thing and you're not enjoying it, you're going to let them down anyway because they're going to be like, what's wrong? Why is your energy off? And you're going to kill the whole fucking vibe anyway. So I'd rather not be a liability to the thing and just say no and not show up in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's so good. We're going to have a lot of sales guys watching this.
That's good.
So we can't get off this podcast without me giving you a few objections.
Okay.
Hey, I can't afford it.
Don't be poor.
That's what you tell people?
No. No, it depends on what
a savage rebuttal and you close it?
Yeah. I mean,
don't be a brokey.
Yeah. Well, it depends what we're selling here. What are we selling? What are we objection handling?
All right. Well, the majority of guys watching this are selling life insurance.
For sure.
So let's say life insurance, mortgage protection. So we're looking at a policy for the home. So if I become sick, disabled, pass away, boom, my home's paid off.
Yeah.
I can't afford this.
Well, I mean, I think the reality is you can't afford not to do this. And then I would just play out the scenario using exactly what they told me, how much money they owe on the home, if they were to pass away, who that home is going to go to, and can that person afford to pick up the mortgage or not, or is it just going to go under foreclosure and just get sent back to the bank, right? So then I'm just going to use what they told me in Discovery when I'm learning about them, and then I'm just going to bring that back. And it's like, well, let's just say, you were to pass away, unfortunately. Well, you currently owe $642,000 on your home. So that mortgage is going to go, you said, to your one son. And you already said your son couldn't afford to take over that mortgage, which means it's going to get foreclosed on and go back to the bank. Or if you were to pass away and you had mortgage protection, this could be next week, right? You don't have to pay into this policy for the next 30 years. This could be next week. And if you go next week and pass away, unfortunately, then that $642,000 is paid off and the value of your home is $850,000. So your son is being handed an $850,000 asset that he can either just live in or he can go sell for cash and put $850,000 in his pocket.
I need to talk to my wife.
Amazing. What's your wife's name?
Claudia.
Great. So earlier when I'd asked you if you would want her involved in the decision, you said that she wouldn't need to be involved. I guess I'm just curious what kind of came up and changed between earlier and now.
Well, obviously, I mean, I gotta run it by her.
What do you mean, obviously?
Well, we make the financial decisions together.
Who would you say kind of like runs and leads the household?
Well, it'd be me.
Okay. So like, let's just say wife aside, Claudia aside, you're single, you're divorced, whatever. Do you think this is a good idea? Like just by yourself. If you're a single person, do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's good.
You think or you know?
I know.
So you know that this is the best decision for you and your family?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Just play out a scenario for me. Let's say you go talk to the wife. She doesn't really understand it because she's not really the one running the household. Let's just say she says no. Where do we go from there? What do we do now?
Well, then I probably wouldn't get it.
And you're willing to settle for that? You're okay with that?
Well, it'd be nice to have.
Nice to have. I feel like it's a need to have.
Yeah. Well, we need something.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are at risk right now because you had said you're the one that's really making money. You're the one paying the bills. So if something were to happen to you, what happens to her?
She'd be in a tough spot.
So I feel like it's almost selfish to put the decision on her when you know and you're convicted and 100% confident that this is what you need to protect her and your kids and your family. I feel like it's tough to put her in that spot to make the decision where all that pressure is on her. Because if she decides wrong and says no, and then something, God forbid, does happen to you, she's going to have to live with the decision that she made to not get the protection.
Yeah. Okay, well, when you put it that way, I see what you're saying. Boom. Yeah,
I should sell some insurance.
Boom, boom. All right, one more. Yeah, all this sounds great, Austin. let me think about it and get back to you tomorrow.
Sure. That sounds good. And when you say think about it, what do you mean by that specifically? Think about like the monthly payment or think about like protection in general, or what do you mean by that?
Just think about which option I want to go with.
Okay. Which option are you leaning towards?
Probably the full mortgage.
Okay. Why the full mortgage? Why not partial?
Because it'd be nice to have the whole home paid off if I pass away.
So what would be the hesitation to pulling the trigger right now and doing the full mortgage?
I mean, just, we just got in the home and, we're still getting settled.
Sure.
It's not a good time.
Yeah.
Bills are pretty tight right now.
And when you say you just got in the home, like you just closed on it recently?
Yeah, we moved in 2 months ago.
Yeah. And are you familiar with how the chart and the graph looks in terms of every time you make a payment, how much is going towards the principal and how much is going towards the interest? Have you looked at that or not?
Yeah,
really?
I've looked at it.
Yeah. So like, that for the next couple of years, like 99% of the money that you pay isn't even paying down the balance and the principal of the home. It's just going straight in interest back to the bank.
Yeah, I'm basically paying interest only for the first 15.
Yeah. So now is actually the best time for you just getting in a home. Because if your home was almost paid off and all your money every month is going towards the principal, then actually mortgage protection doesn't even make that much sense. So the fact that you just got into the home, now is the absolute best time to protect the asset that you just worked your ass off to buy.
Boom. Somebody get this guy on the phones. Somebody get this guy on the phones.
And by the way, I never sold insurance one day in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I've coached one insurance agent ever. But that's the thing. It's like, how do we get ourselves out of sticky situations? Well, we have to use logic and reasoning, and we also have to be confident in what we say. Like, so my biggest unlock in objection handling is almost always using the objection that they gave me as the reason why they should buy. So, we just got in the home.
Yes.
Oh, well, now amazing. Dude, that's fantastic. Now's the best time. And here's the reason and logic behind why. I can't just say now's the best time and not back it up with logic, reasoning, and facts, right? So I have to use that. I have to use, I want to talk to my wife. Well, now we have a wife that we want to protect. Well, you said you're the one making the money. So actually it's bad to put her in a tough spot and make her make the decision when you know that you just need to protect her, right? So I always use the objection and then reframe their brain as to be the reason why they should pay.
John, you really can't afford I understand the bills are tight now, but John, you really can't afford to not have this, because we just broke down your budget, and we look at how tight the bills are with both you and your wife's income. But let me ask you, if God forbid, if you had a heart attack or stroke, or you're disabled, or God forbid, if you pass away, what would the financial situation look like then?
Yep.
And so, yeah. All right. Last question for you, then we'll wrap up. We're running out of time. So you bring a 20-year-old kid in, never done sales before. You bring him from zero to hero. You get him from $0 a month to making $20,000 a month. What is the progression? How do you get him there in 90 days?
Yeah, I don't think it takes 90. I think it takes 30.
How do you get him there in 30?
Number one, personal excellence. So he's going to have to stop doing everything that got him here to being 20 years old and broke, right? So that's probably drinking, that's probably smoking, that's probably partying. Maybe it's nicotine, maybe it's hanging out with the wrong people. We need to isolate Johnny, we'll call him. We need to isolate Johnny from the old version of himself, especially friends and family. Yeah. If you're the product of your environment. So if you're broke, I can almost guarantee 99% accuracy that everyone you surround yourself with is fucking broke.
Yep.
We need to isolate him from those people because they hate to see him win. So as soon as he makes his first check, they're going to start hating on him. They're going to tell him that it's this. They're going to tell him that he just got lucky. They're going to tell him that it's not going to last. And if we're feeding him with that negativity, not everybody is strong enough to say, fuck you, and keep going, right? So number one, we need to isolate. And number two, isolate with personal excellence. So like not just like remove all those things, but reinsert things that are actually productive for that individual specifically. Going to the gym, eating healthy, waking up earlier than you're used to, staying up later, working, doing the things you know you need to do, like inserting positive vices into his life to create him into somebody that he's never been before. Then coming in and just being absolutely sold on the company, right? So literally brainwashing him with like, dude, look at our fucking results. Look at what we've done. Not just like what we've done for people who sell the shit, but look at what we've done for the people that we help. Hey, we just got this guy a protection policy. 6 months later, unfortunately, he passed away. Boom, we cashed out on his house, $600,000. We took care of his wife's setup for the rest of her life, right? Like we need to share those stories of what we're actually doing and the lives that we're actually impacting so he can have that confidence in what he's actually selling. That's it. And then if he has work ethic and he's coachable, we're good. Like we don't need anything else. It's really that simple.
Bro, this was such a great podcast. Austin, thank you for hopping on, brother.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. If they wanna find you, how can they learn more about you? Find you on social media, get involved. Anything you want to plug? Yeah,
either Instagram or YouTube. Just my first and last name, Austin, Austin, last name Medlin, Medlin. YouTube has like 100 videos that are long form, and then Instagram is short, quick clips in terms of sales training, mindset, stuff like that.
Let's go. Let's make it a week.